Welcome everyone to the Jet Fuel video. I'm your host Max Marcilla, and today I was over in Florham Park checking out the new look Jets and how they looked in the final day of public practices. And it was an interesting day because the Jets quarterbacks, which was the topic of discussion heading into Monday's practice, they were very iffy. So Christian Hackenberg will kick it off with the rookie, got as many reps as he has seen throughout the entire summer. He took the reps of Bryce Petty. I wouldn't read too much into that. Nonetheless, Hackenberg got plenty of opportunities with the third unit and got time playing both in 11-on-11 team drills and got time to participate in the 2-minute drill. Unfortunately for the Penn State rookie, it was not a productive day. He threw a pair of interceptions, both of which were thrown to D. Milliner, who had a nice practice after he missed the Washington game with a sore bicep. Meanwhile, although Hackenberg was probably the worst of the Jets quarterbacks, the other ones didn't have such a great day either. Bryce Petty threw an interception and another near interception that safety Ronald Martin played very well. And Ryan Fitzpatrick even had an interception, which is rare because this is a veteran who doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but he threw one to rookie Darren Lee. And speaking of Lee, the Ohio State linebacker, what a practice he had. He picked off 2 balls, including that one to Fitzpatrick. It was just great ball skills, jumped up on a nice route. He had a very productive practice defending passes. And while Lee was the highlight of the defense as he saw first-team reps, he wasn't the only young player that got experience with the first team. Long Island native Mike Catapano saw time as an edge rusher, and Jordan Jenkins, who has been playing with the first team and is projected to be an opening day starter, he had a busy day as well. He recorded what I like to call a would-be sack because, it's training camp and you can't touch the quarterbacks. But Jenkins had a productive day. Unfortunately for the rookie, the third-round pick went out with an injury. Todd Bowles said after the practice that it was a calf injury, and he didn't know the severity, but he will update everyone on Tuesday. So as the Jets look forward to week 3 of the preseason, which as we all know is the big game, it's the starters. They play for at least the first half. It's a chance for Ryan Fitzpatrick and the offense to get redemption after a couple of I would say below average weeks, and the first team Jets defense, which is projected to be one of the league's better units, they've struggled too, and they'll have a good test as the Jets will face off against guys like Odell Beckham Jr. and Eli Manning. But one guy that the Jets might get back for that week 3 game is Khiry Robinson, the running back who the Jets signed from New Orleans. He participated in team drills for the first time all season, and he looked good. Todd Bowles even noted, quote, "He's quick." Simple, but an effective quote. Khiry Robinson looked very good. Bilal Powell continues his strong training camp, and Matt Forte once again out there with the running backs out there in team drills. The Jets have a couple running backs that look like they can be dual threats, namely Forte and Powell. But moving forward, I discussed the injuries. Jordan Jenkins suffered the calf injury. Meanwhile, Robinson returned from an injury. To recap, there were some injuries over the past couple days. Jace Amaro out with a sore groin. He struggled in the preseason loss to Washington, dropped a couple balls. The Jets tight ends, not a very productive group last year, to say the least. I believe they barely surpassed 100 yards as a group. Of course, Amaro was not part of that group as he was injured and missed the entire season, but not a great sign that Jace Amaro sitting out of a practice. His status for Friday's game, Saturday's game. I can't get these preseason schedules straight. Jace Amaro's status for Saturday's game against the Giants is unknown as per Todd Bowles. Meanwhile, a couple other guys that sat out. Dexter McDougal sat out with an injury. Brino Giacomini still not on the field for the Jets. And lastly, Kenbrell Tompkins, the wide receiver, sat out also with a sore groin. He had been pretty quiet coming in, but it's a pretty intense battle as the Jets look for which wide receivers they will keep. Jalen Marshall, Sharon Peake, the 7th-round pick, even Robbie Anderson, the Temple product, who had a tremendous game against Washington. They were all battling it out for roster spots. But it was a busy day, and overall the quarterbacks did not look great. The defensive backs looked very good. And once again, Todd Bowles used this opportunity to give some younger guys experience. Not only, as I mentioned earlier, did Mike Catapano see time, but in the secondary, the Jets played Justin Burris with the first team and downgraded, although I say that lightly because once again, the Jets trying to mix and match, but downgraded Marcus Williams, who played with the second team. So what's interesting is we are officially 8 days away from the first batch of roster cuts, as by August 30th, every NFL team has to be down to 75 players. It's interesting to see which guys Bowles gives more playing time to and which guys can make the roster. But it was a busy day and a lot cooler than last week, I'll tell you that. August 22nd, 85 degrees. It was a beautiful day, great day to be out at Florham Park. And as we come up for the last week before the first batch of cuts, all eyes are on the quarterbacks. Can Bryce Petty outplay Geno Smith and move up to that number 2 spot? And then in the secondary, can Justin Burris play well after he had a pretty up and down game in Washington? Can he keep his spot? It'll be a busy week. The Jets play the Giants in the Snoopy Bowl, the MetLife Bowl, whatever you want to call it. It's a big trophy, at least Rex Ryan would say so. But anyway, once again, for New York Jet Fuel, I'm Max Marcilla. Be sure to check us out throughout the week. We have our founder, editor-in-chief, Matt Barbado. He is publishing his 53-man roster prediction. That's coming out tomorrow. My latest piece on the history of the fourth-round quarterback, that is out. And I believe we'll have a couple other. We have Chris Lopresti, big news for the Jets. Chris Lopresti, WFAN New York Jet beat reporter. He will be on the Jet Fuel podcast tomorrow. Unfortunately, I will not be there, but you'll be in good hands of Matt Barbado and our own Nick Delahoney. So be sure to tune in for that and more. Check out the website www.nyjetfuel.com, and of course, follow on Twitter at New York Jet Fuel. Once again, I'm Max Marcilla. Thank you for watching. This has been the Jets Practice Report.
Terrific.